All right, I just want to talk about the sovereign citizen movement and how it's going in court. It seems like there's some rising popular channels who document the attempts at the sovereign citizen arguments in various courts. Pretty much it's only the courts that allow recording, video recording. You're not hearing a darn thing what's going on in Louisiana courts or courts that don't allow video documentation. So you don't learn a thing from the courts that don't allow video, and that's very unfortunate. It doesn't help. It doesn't help the citizens build trust with the court system at all. So the arguments a lot of times come out of Texas and Michigan. So that's all I can base my learning on. No other states. I don't know. I don't know their exact rules. It's unfortunate, but Michigan and Texas are YouTube stars. In the courtrooms of Michigan and Texas are YouTube stars compared to the rest of the country. And what I'm learning from these the sovereign citizens who approach the court for various criminal charges, driving infractions, and domestic disputes or whatever, is they make their arguments on common law and sometimes even nationalistic bases, going through the lines of argument, but not really getting into specifics and jurisdiction. They say the sovereign citizen says that the court is out of the jurisdiction, but then commences making arguments about common law, which is like a worldly jurisdiction, admiralty law, which is pretty much a worldly jurisdiction, and even federal law. Okay, from long time ago, like a long past, a long time ago, and that's at least national. So it's all within jurisdiction, but never getting into details within the states. And this, once again, the states of either Michigan or Texas. And then the judge says, well, we're using Michigan law, we're using Texas law. And when they hear no arguments about that, they hear no declarations that the common law or the national law, the admiralty law, there's no declarations of how that applies to the Michigan court. And I've noticed in Louisiana filing my writ and my lawsuit, that they ask for a statement of jurisdiction right at the top, right at the beginning, because all other arguments really don't matter until we can get jurisdiction settled. And jurisdiction is argued in the first paragraph, because that takes priority. All right, your most important arguments are at the top. From reading top to bottom, they want to see what the most important stuff is at the top. And before the first argument that you make for jurisdiction, you have table of contents or just the identifying parties in the lawsuit. You don't put that at the end of the document. You put it at the beginning. The most important stuff is at the top, and then you work down from there to a conclusion. Like writing a good essay, but in legal form. So the statement of jurisdiction is broad, and then the sovereign citizen turns around and says that this court's not in it. after saying that the courts, that the jurisdiction is broad, the court has an established jurisdiction. I don't know about that. I think the sovereign citizen is arguing for jurisdiction right at the start, saying that it's common law. Common law encompasses jurisdiction for everybody. So that's such a weak argument to me. You gotta get into the details of the state law, what the legislators of the state have put together, those revised statutes, the numbers, get the letters, get all of that. It takes a little bit of extra reading, but I mean, that's also something that your assistant AI can do as well. You just ask them to find the relevant laws for that, and the assistant AI, ChatGPT, can give good general advice, but you may want to look deeper into it, find that all of the law that applies, and then plug that into ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT will be like, oh, that's what it says, because it keeps claiming it can't look up information in real time. It can't dig through the pages and pages of law that's written for each state. So you kind of have to guess. Take a guess. Say, maybe it's this law, maybe it's that law, and copy it and put it into ChatGPT. Then it has it, and then ask your questions. Ask for a motion to be made, and it'll use it or it won't use it, depending on what arguments you want to make. Okay, but you have to copy and paste the law yourself, and you kind of have to guess. You can guess wrong. It's better to guess wrong in ChatGPT than with the courts anyway, when you're pulling laws, pulling statutes, pulling court rules, pulling clerk of court rules, judicial canons, code of criminal procedure, case law, pulling all of that, get the details, and plug it in, and then ChatGPT will have it. Because you can make projects. You can probably make projects with other AIs too, and have it all there and ready to be evaluated. And apparently you can do this offline now, I guess, with DeepSeek, but you need a fast computer for that. So the sovereign citizens can go into better detail with what they're doing. They're too broad-based in their approach, and then they tell the courts that they're not in their jurisdiction. It's just incredible. And then the traveling versus driving thing. I mean, I don't really have anything to say about that quite yet. I don't fully understand the commercial arguments about that. But I mean, at some point, if the judges found a way to take everybody's driver's license, then something's got to give. Okay, right now there's a balance that seems to be acceptable to most people, that we're mostly accepting what the judges are saying, and that they have the right to pull our licenses regardless of we're commercial or not. But if they pulled everybody's license who is not a commercial driver, then the people are gonna likely have something to say about that. Okay, but right now there seems to be a healthy balance where most people accept the ruling of the judge getting people off the roads, and there are some people who should not be driving. So I mean, yeah, there's a healthy balance with that right now. Let's see. The one I just saw just inspired me to just start thinking about this out loud. Okay, go to sovereign citizen court. Okay, this is what the judge told the guy. He made his arguments, and she was like, go to sovereign citizen court. We're Michigan court. So Michigan has its own own statutes, and if you don't make the Michigan court see that the Constitution also applies to Michigan law, then you're speaking to deaf ears with that. You have to tie your arguments to Michigan law, so you got to do a little bit more research. Okay, and then also in this last video I seen, he didn't really ask the cop any questions, any valid questions at his trial. And that's a different approach I'm taking, because cops got 8 hours of courtroom tactics as a witness, testifying as a witness. So you're going against that. But I mean, you got this pro se guy defending himself against a traffic ticket and the cop's testimony, and he seems to hamstring himself before even challenging the cop's training on courtroom testifying, on his skills at testifying in court. So I mean, there's too many people in this uneducated position, unable to properly ask cops questions, first of all, and then when you start getting to the point where you can ask cops pretty good questions about your case on the stand, getting good testimony, then you're going to be dealing with the cops like training. Can you rephrase that question, or just keeping the answer simple, and then using magic words like look nervous. I heard it all in trial number 1 at Natchitoches with Officer Davis. He was really putting it on thick with his training and testimony. I think he did a little refresher before actually testifying. So I'm gonna stop this here.